Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. We have some more breaking news as the second five-star comes off the board in the 2023 class as Anthony Hill commits to the Texas Longhorns. A month ago, he decommitted from Texas A&M, reopened his recruitment, and now he is going to Austin, Texas to join Steve Sarkisian and the Longhorns. Texas obviously has their NIL going, but they're also just recruiting at a very high level. Their defense was extremely, extremely solid this year, and you know they're going to be able to get a lot of offensive talent around Arch Manning. This is a very fun program to talk about. Before we talk a little bit about Anthony Hill, what I see from him and how he fits, just want to say thank you guys for the support you guys have shown the channel. Again, we love making these videos. We love talking ball with you guys in the comment section, and the support you guys have shown absolutely means the world to the boys. So the best way you can support us is by subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and then dropping a comment in the comment section. We appreciate you guys. Let's talk a little bit about Anthony Hill. Obviously a five-star, a top 25 player in the country for a reason. He's a freak athlete. I mean, he's a 17-year-old kid who's 6'2", 225 pounds from Denton, Texas. We're going to take a little bit of a look at what he brings to the field from what we saw in his high school highlights and film. But what you see from him is a violent linebacker. And this is something that I feel like Texas has missed in the past couple of years, outside of last year where Jalen Ford and Demarion Overshown for a little bit, but mostly Jalen Ford kind of became that dude who in my opinion, should have been probably the Big 12 Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Anthony Hill, very similar kind of vibe where he is a downhill guy. He's a very good athlete. And you look at what linebackers at the collegiate level are asked to do, even in the NFL level these days, and what they're asked to do is you got to be big and you got to be good between the tackles, but even more importantly, you got to carry tight ends up the seam. You got to be able to tackle running backs in the flat, and you got to be able to play in space and spy the quarterback and make plays on the quarterback as well. Anthony Hill shows that on his film in lumps. I mean, he is a 6'2", 225-pound wrecking ball that has a nose for the ball, and he's the fastest, biggest person on the field when you watch him play, and that's why he's a top 20 guy in the country. That's why he's one of the best players from the state of Texas, and I think that's why he's an absolutely massive commit for Texas, a program that I feel like for the past decade, yeah, they've had some talent. I don't think they've had some physicality. Some of those guys who are bruisers. Anthony Hill, excuse me, I'm a little sick. Anthony Hill is a guy I think that can do that. Now, I want to just take a look a little bit of what he brings to the table, check out a little bit of his highlights, because he is just, I mean, like if you're looking for something fun, just like some fun football highlights, I would advise you to watch Anthony Hill. So you see him coming off, just blitzing right to the quarterback immediately. You see the burst, you see the athleticism. He's a special guy to watch. And then you see the ability to cover and drop back in space and look comfortable. That's something that not a lot of people do at the high school level, where we are not just a freak athlete, but you get the position. Anthony Hill, I think, has that. And Jalen Ford, 4 interceptions on the year? I'm not trying to compare this kid to Jalen Ford, but, I mean, here he is just taking on a block, making a play, picking up a guy, and just being violent and being, like, a very, very tough dude. Honestly, they use him in a blitz a lot. I would expect Anthony Hill to be kind of coming off the edge a little bit. And Texas doing a lot of different things with them, walking up, blitzing again. You just see the burst, you see the philosophy, you see the nose for the football. Kind of like the big things, and then here you just see like the work. I mean, just being a playmaker. There is so much to like about what you see from Anthony Hill on his highlight tape. And again, you take a look at what Texas is doing with this class, and yeah, I think a lot of you guys would say, a lot of Texas fans would say, a disappointing first year with Quinn Ewers, second year with Coach Sark. But I think there were some things that you looked up with. I think they looked way better on both sides of the line of scrimmage, which was kind of the bugaboo for Texas the last couple of years, just not being physical up front on either sides of the line of scrimmage. I think those young freshmen on the offensive line look good. I think that defensive line and the front seven in general, very, very physical. And you go back and you check at what Texas is bringing in 2023. I think it's a lot of the same. You obviously have your crown jewel with Arch Manning. Cedric Baxter coming from Orlando, Florida, who's a dog running back. Jonte Cook, I think he's going to kind of move up the rankings. He's already now a 5-star, was a 4-star. In 2022, they brought in a lot of offensive linemen. Now they're bringing in just like a lot of skill talent, a lot of wide receivers. Colin Vasek, I believe, coming over from Oklahoma. They're sitting at a top six recruiting class in the country. The big thing you want to see, though, is only 21 commits. I mean, a lot of the programs that are in the top 5 in terms of recruiting classes in the 2023 class have 25, 26, 27 commits. Texas only has 21, so they have some room to fill out this class, whether they want to do it in the 2023 class or go to the portal and get it. Texas is putting together a lot of talent at this program, and again, it's a blue blood program. It has their NIL stuff together, and I think Steve Sarkisian, for maybe as slow as a start as he had at that tenure, I think he's a very good offensive-minded head coach, and I think a lot of people are going to want to play for him, and I think he's a good recruiter. And that is where winning national championships starts. It starts with bringing in the talent, bringing in the dudes who are able to do that. And Anthony Hill is just another guy that's going to add to a very, very talented football program. And he's a guy that I think fits exactly what Texas needs from a culture standpoint. Getting a guy who's just mean, he's violent, he plays the game the right way, that physical brand that I feel like a lot of Texas fans would agree with me. Just has been missing the last couple of years, maybe not last year, but the last maybe half a decade to a decade or so. I mean, Anthony Hill's not that dude. You look at that guy. I mean, he wants to hit somebody. He wants to play physical, and I think it's a great fit for Texas, and obviously a tremendous talent from Denton, Texas. Again, wanted to keep it short for you guys, but we did have some breaking news. I was just on my way to the gym, actually, and then I saw Anthony Hill pop up, and he's been a guy that I've been watching because after he decommitted from Texas A&M, you knew Texas was in the hunt. He ends up going and playing for the Longhorns. This is a massive get. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.